G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at whether the spirit of Jezebel actually exists. So let's get right into it. In churches today, it's popular for people to say, oh, that someone has the spirit of Jezebel in them, and that, oh, we better cast out the spirit of Jezebel in that person. But does the Bible actually say that the spirit of Jezebel actually exists? If you're someone who doesn't even know who Jezebel is, she's found in the book of 1st and 2nd Kings, and she was a wicked woman, a very wicked woman. She promoted, the worship of Baal and the worship of all sorts of idolatry, and she even persecuted God's people. And outside the book of 1st and 2nd Kings, the only other place she's found or mentioned in the Bible is in Revelation chapter 2 verse 20, and it says, "But I have a few things against you. You permit that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess, to teach and seduce my servants to commit sexual immorality and eat food sacrificed to idols." This is the only passage that people are using today in the entire Bible to support their idea that there is a spirit of Jezebel in the world today, or that there's a spirit of Jezebel in someone, that they need to cast out this spirit of Jezebel. Now, people look at this verse and think that because the Bible calls this woman a Jezebel, and since Jezebel is dead, that there must be a spirit called Jezebel. But there really is nothing in this verse to say that there is a spirit of Jezebel. It's more than likely that in this passage in Revelation chapter 2 verse 20, they're simply calling this woman a Jezebel because she is acting like Jezebel and doing the things that Jezebel did, which we can read about in the Old Testament. So in the same way that we use the word Judas as a byword to refer to someone who betrays another person, we've probably all heard it before, that person's a bit of a Judas because, they've not been someone that we've trusted, or they've broken someone else's trust, gone behind their back. Someone who's betrayed you can often be known as a Judas. And it's kind of similar with this word Jezebel. It's often used as a byword to refer to someone who is perhaps wicked, and someone who can deceive or manipulate God's people into turning into idolatry. So it's just another word to refer to someone who has the similar characteristic traits as Jezebel. And there are many, popular preachers who think the same thing. So let me read them to you and let me give you their thoughts. So Matthew Henry says, "Wicked seducers were compared to Jezebel and called by her name. Jezebel was a persecutor of the prophets of the Lord and a great patroness of idolaters and false prophets." John Wesley, another popular preacher, says that many of the ancients have delivered that this was the wife of the pastor himself. Jezebel of old led the people of God to open idolatry. This Jezebel, fitly called by her name from the resemblance between their works, led them to partake in the idolatry of the heathens. The Younger Bible Dictionary says, "Long afterward her name lived as the byword for all that was detestable." In Revelation 2:20, she is used as a type of those who encourage immorality and false teaching, in the same way that she engulfed Israel in idolatry. John Woolford quotes, "Jezebel's name became synonymous with subtle corruption, immorality, and idolatry." The Cultural Background Study Bible says, "Jezebel, a nickname for false prophets, evoking the biblical Jezebel's sin of turning Israel away from God." And the Fire Bible quotes, "John calls one particular person Jezebel, derived from the Old Testament Jezebel, whose name is a synonym for false worship, sensuality, and manipulative control. So although there is no biblical evidence for someone having the spirit of Jezebel inside them, I don't think there's anything wrong calling someone a Jezebel if they're, practicing, all sorts of ungodly things that we read about Jezebel in the Old Testament. So if there's people in the church that are, practicing idolatry and all sorts of wicked things, then there's nothing wrong with labeling them as a Jezebel. Anyway, I hope you've liked this video and have found it interesting and informative. I do love to make videos that are generally about women in the Bible, or things to do with just all sorts of different interesting topics that we as women can learn about in the Bible. And I also love to make videos with my husband Caleb, and we really love to teach the Word of God. So please, if you do enjoy our videos, please like and subscribe and leave a comment below. We love to read your comments, and you'll see me, or you'll see us, in our next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.